Deep in the heart of the Middle East, there's a struggle for dominance that's been going on for decades, and it's reshaping our world. We're about to dive into an ancient rivalry, a very modern conflict, and one kingdom's epic quest to secure its future. This is a big one.
So what we have here is a story of two regional giants just locked in this epic contest for power and influence. On one side, you've got a kingdom, the guardian of tradition, and on the other, a revolutionary rival, dead set on tearing down the old order. Believe me, how this all plays out, it's going to define the Middle East for generations.
All right, let's start our story with our protagonist, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This place is the very heart of the Sunni world. And for decades, its power has seemed, well, immovable. It's all built on these powerful foundations of faith, incredible fortune, and some very strategic alliances.
So let's break down just how deep this influence goes. First, it's the birthplace of Islam and the leader of the Sunni world. You just can't overstate that religious authority. Then you've got the oil. As the world's top exporter, its economic muscle is just immense. And of course, being a key US ally meant its security was, for a very long time, pretty much guaranteed. This, right here, is the established order.
But you know how these stories go. Every established order, sooner or later, faces a challenge. And for Saudi Arabia, that challenge has a name: Iran. Its revolutionary arch-rival right across the Gulf.
Okay, to really get what's happening here, you have to go way back to the roots. See, this isn't just about politics or oil. No, this rivalry runs along a much older fault line, the deep historical divide between Sunni and Shia Islam. You've got Saudi Arabia, which sees itself as the leader of the Sunni world, and then Iran, which has positioned itself as the champion of Shia power.
So if you're sitting in Riyadh, looking at Iran's revolutionary ideology and its huge network of proxies spreading across the region, well, that's not just a challenge. That's an existential threat. A threat to your dominance, to the stability of the whole Gulf, and really to your very identity as the region's main Sunni power.
Now here's the thing. This rivalry, it almost never plays out in open war. No, instead, it's become a war in the shadows. It's fought on battlefields all across the Middle East, turning the entire region into this incredibly complex and dangerous chessboard.
And this is what that chessboard looks like. Both sides are fighting, but indirectly, through local allies, what we call proxies. So in Yemen, you have Saudi Arabia leading a coalition against the Houthi rebels, who are backed by Iran. Then you look at Syria, Iraq, Lebanon. Riyadh is supporting different groups there to try and push back against Tehran's growing influence. Every single one of these countries is a front in this massive, sprawling conflict. And what's so fascinating is how differently they play the game. Saudi Arabia tends to act directly, right? They lead military coalitions, they form open alliances with other governments. Iran, though, it prefers the hidden hand. It's all about covertly supporting these non-state actors, these militias, to spread its influence without having to commit its own forces on the ground. So what happens when you have this kind of revolutionary threat? Well, it forces a massive recalibration. Suddenly, old alliances are getting tested, and completely new, totally unexpected partnerships are being formed in the middle of this whole regional showdown.
For decades, the alliance with the United States was everything. It was the absolute bedrock of Saudi security. It gave them advanced weapons, a diplomatic shield. This wasn't just some partnership. It was the central pillar holding up the entire security system in the region.
But the ground is absolutely shifting under everyone's feet. You've got the Abraham Accords, which are this massive, historic realignment. We're seeing Arab nations normalizing relations with Israel. And what's the big driver behind all this? A shared, urgent concern about Iran. It's creating this quiet, once totally unthinkable alliance between old enemies. So, faced with all these threats from the outside and a really uncertain future, the kingdom is making its boldest play yet. And it's not on some foreign battlefield. No, it's happening right inside its own borders. They're trying to reinvent the entire country, from the ground up.
And this grand strategy has a name: Vision 2030. But let's be clear, this is not just some economic plan. Oh no, this is a monumental effort to completely reinvent the kingdom, to forge a new destiny that isn't tied to the rise and fall of oil prices.
This whole internal revolution really comes down to three huge pillars. 1, diversify the economy, get away from that dependency on oil. 2, modernize the society, unlock all that new potential from within. And 3, turn the kingdom into a major hub for global investment. The goal here is crystal clear. Build a nation that's so strong and resilient, it can not only stand up to the challenge from Iran, but actually lead the entire region into a new era. So,
Where does this leave us? The kingdom has made its big move. That shadow war is still raging, and the entire balance of power in the Middle East is hanging in the balance. It's all at stake.
What Saudi Arabia is doing now is this really complex, fascinating mix. On one hand, it's assertive, actively pushing back and containing Iran's influence wherever it can. But on the other hand, it's also being super pragmatic, even opening the door for talks with Tehran when it makes sense. This is what a more independent foreign policy looks like, one that's all about securing that leadership role no matter what happens next. So as these tectonic plates of power keep shifting, you can bet that the rivalry between these two giants is what will write the next chapter for the entire region. The pieces are still moving on the board, the strategies are constantly evolving, and really, the only thing we know for sure is that this story is far, far from over. Which leaves us with the big question: what will that next chapter be?
At Geotectonics, our mission is to uncover these profound tectonic shifts, offering clarity in a world of complexity. If this analysis deepened your understanding, please like this video to support our work, share it with others who seek real insight, and subscribe to Geotectonics to ensure you never miss our next deep dive. We'll continue to explore the crucial geopolitical movements that define our time. Thank you for joining us.